There's definitely crimes going on here. Literally, who am I? And speaking of devastation, let me look it up again. A brush with love. Got it. Hey, I'm Rachel, this is Let Me in the Library, and today we're going to do my March TBR. So I, as always, will do my dice game. I roll a bunch of 20-sided dice, and depending on what those dice land on, that gives me some numbers, and I have some prompts that are in the description, and that's what I use to figure out what it is I'm reading. Also, as an additional little extra thing for me, every time that I roll 6 20-sided dice, I also get an additional 4-sided dice, which looks like a little pyramid, and it has the numbers 1 through 4 on it. So whatever number I end up getting on that 4-sided dice allows me to change one of the numbers that I got up or down on the list. So without further ado, let's see what I rolled this month, and then get right into the things that I think I'm going to be reading. Time for some rolling. Let's do it. Okay, everything stayed inside of the bin for once. All right, we've got a 5, a 9, and always get an 11, a 15, a 16, and a 20. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna roll a 4-sided dice and just see what we get. That is a 4. Oh, sweet. Okay, so I can change any of these by 4 if I want to. So we have got the rolling out of the way. Let's take a look at the final numbers after changing some stuff around with that 4-sided dice. So the numbers that I ended up getting are a 5, which is a spin the bottle, a 9, which is a romance, an 11, which is an A to Z generator, a 12, which is a playlist picks, and a 15, which is having Sasha, my cat, choose the book for me, and lastly, having my most anticipated book for the month. So some of these involve some mini games, so we are going to take a look at that right away because we have, first off, spin the bottle. So my number 5 spin the bottle, I lay out a bunch of books and I spin a bottle, and for once this is actually something like vaguely appetizing as a bottle spin. So the thing that I ended up getting was something on my Kindle, and the book I ended up with is this ARC. It's called How to Be Eaten, and this is actually kind of like a reimagining of a bunch of classic fairy tales, things like Little Red Riding Hood and Hansel and Gretel and stuff like that, and each of these characters is instead reimagined as a woman in the modern day who is in a support group. I really love the Wayward Children series, and that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from the premise, at least, but I think it is going to be you know, a little bit different. It's not really a school, it's more so these adult women who just have to go through their life and deal with what the heck happened to them. So I think this is going to be really good. I'm excited about it. Next up, I got a 9, which is a romance, and so for romance I figured I would pick another ARC. Who is she? And I'm choosing an audiobook that I got through the Libro FM influencer program that lets me get some audiobooks ahead of time. So I'm picking A Brush with Love, which is about some dentistry students. So let me look it up again. A Brush with Love. Got it. Right, I'm just going to read to you what this is about off my computer. Harper is anxiously awaiting placement into a top oral surgery residency program where she crashes literally into Dan. Harper would rather endure a Novocaine-free root canal than face any distractions, even one this adorable. A first-year dental student with a family legacy to contend with, Dan doesn't have the same passion for pulling teeth that Harper does, though he finds himself falling for her. He is willing to play by Harper's rules. So with the greatest of intentions and the poorest of follow-throughs, the two set out to be just friends. But as they get to know each other better, Harper fears that trading fillings for feelings may make her lose control and can't risk her carefully ordered life coming undone no matter how drool-worthy Dan is. I think this is really, really, like, unique. I've never read about dentistry. I don't think ever. So let me see. This comes out. Oh, it already came out actually. So it came out March 1st. So it's not quite an ARC. But I am excited to read this one, and I think it'll be cute. Okay, so I always seem to get an 11, which is the A to Z generator. It does usually lead me to try things that I normally would not pick up that month. But I have a random letter wheel that I always screen record and put over here as proof for you of what I got. And this month I ended up with a W. So the book I ended up choosing is What is Ethics? What is ethics? What is it? I actually am a pretty big philosophy nerd. I really, really do like to read about philosophy and read about how do we cause the least amount of harm, how do we help one another, and sometimes that is really just a source of comfort for me, especially in the wild world that we live in. So I am pretty excited to read this one. This is yet another ARC actually that I got from NetGalley. literally, who am I? I don't know why I'm just doing arcs this time, but yeah, I'm excited for that, and I really hope that I enjoy it. Okay, so I got one of those really fun ones where the playlist picks the book for me, and so what I do is I go to a random playlist I have on Spotify and just like hit next a random number of times until I get a song, and based on the vibes of that song, I'll choose a book. The song that I ended up with is called Good Gone Girl. It's another song by Mika. Big fan. Basically about a couple of women who kind of feel listless and are doing a lot of the same things that they used to do when they were younger in their 20s, and like, you know, going to bars and hanging out and trying to have a good time, but they're also feeling like I'm much older now and I have more of like a sense of responsibility in the type of life that I think I should be living, so now what? And a lot of the people who might hang out with them, they kind of like see through this facade. So I basically went in a totally different direction and just went based off of the title of the song, because that's really hard to find a book for. Good Gone Girl. So basically the girl is gone. Maybe she has become a woman, or maybe she is just gone. And I went the is gone route. I chose A History of What Comes Next, which is a Sylvan Nouvelle book. I read this about a year ago for the first time and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's really weird. It's a dark satirical thriller, and it basically follows this line of women, and only 2 of them are allowed to be alive for very long at the same time. So there'll be like, you know, like a grandmother, a mother, and then as soon as the daughter is born in that generation, then the grandmother will die. And usually it's not like magically she'll die, but she will like end her life. And it's kind of unclear why, but it seems like these are women who are like extreme intelligence, like way more than anybody else during the time period that they're alive, and they help to move forward the progress in society. So this takes place around like World War II. The main character's goal is to basically lure away scientists from Nazi Germany to work for Americans during the space race. And for some reason they're trying to get into space first, and it seems like it's not just the usual like political machinations, but actually something more interesting going on in a sci-fi sense, if you will. So I read this about a year ago, as I said, and I really don't remember that much about it, so I feel like this is a perfect time to pick it back up again for a reason that will become very apparent in just a few minutes. But next, I have another little mini game, which is to have Sasha, my cat, pick the book for me because I got a 15. I used to do this really fast. I just took some treats out of Sasha's little treat bag or whatever. She is right here waiting for some treats. So I'm gonna need to run and put these on the books and see which one she picks. Let's see which one she wants. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, Sash, pick a book. This one? Okay. Thank you. All right, so Sasha says we're going to be reading All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. And she's just going to town on the rest of these books. Okay. So here's the book she ended up picking. She ended up choosing All Boys Aren't Blue. This is a memoir by George M. Johnson. And last time that I talked about this on a TBR, I think I technically got the, the contents of this book a little bit wrong because George M. Johnson had not yet come out as non-binary at the time that this book was published, I believe in 2020. So this talks a little bit more about what it's like to be Black and queer growing up in America, and toxic masculinity, and the things that influence our lives and then change who we are as people as we grow up in, that environment. I think it's also really important to make sure that the things that we read center voices that we don't always hear from in really, really popular media. So hearing from a non-binary Black queer person, I think would be really, really cool to try to read something a little bit different and to read about how this affected their life. Okay, we are returning to that whole what an opportune time to read that other book thing. And that's because I got a 20, which is to read my most anticipated read. And what do you know? I got yet another arc. And I got Until the Last of Me, which is the second book in that same series that A History of What Comes Next is in. The series is called Take Them to the Stars. I think they're being taken to the stars in this book. So I don't know very much about the second book, being that I barely remember everything that happened in the end of the first book. So I'm sure it picks right up and we get going to the stars, and I think it's pretty exciting. So that is the end of my little dice game portion of this video, but I have a lot more to talk to you about, including some book club stuff, a readathon I'm participating in, some buddy reads, and more. So let's talk about book clubs first. First, we've got the Wider's Book Club, and I am going to be reading The Last Thing He Told Me. And this is about a woman who married this guy, and the guy just like leaves without a trace, and he leaves behind a note that says, "Protect her." And she has to protect her stepdaughter, which is the guy's biological daughter, and she doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. She's like, "Who are you? Why are you talking about, protect her? Where did you go?" He also leaves behind like this gigantic sum of money. There's definitely crimes going on here, so he is concerned and he takes off. We're going to be reading that and discussing it over on Darian's channel next month, so look out for that. The next thing is the Fantasy Series Book Club, and you may already know by now that we are doing a Poppy War read-along. So I've got the Poppy War, which I still need to finish this month, plus I've got the Dragon Republic. We're going to be discussing the Poppy War on the Ruby's Digest channel, and then every month we kind of like cycle around with this series. So for the Dragon Republic, we're going to be doing some reading sprints for the Fantasy Series Book Club on my channel, and then we will also be doing the live show on my channel early next month. So I will definitely have to get these read in time. I love the Poppy War, it's really good, but I've heard people are really devastated by what happens here in the Dragon Republic. And speaking of devastation, I still have a book to read from the Bone-along, which is Jade War. I'm planning to buddy read this with Yasmin from Yasmin Be Readin'. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get to this one. The Bone-along is technically already up to Jade Legacy. I just don't think I'm going to get to it this month, to be honest. I also have to finish up reading To Andre's Dream of Electric Sheep for the Movie Night Book Club. Movie Night Book Club is actually choosing a different book for this month, which is No Exit, but I did already read that, so I'm just going to be continuing on with my Philip K. Dick read over here. So let's move on to the Readathon. So Tis the Day Readathon is a Taylor Swift themed readathon that's happening this month. One of my friends, Jan, is hosting it, so I'm really excited to participate in it. And basically each album has different prompts from it. Reputation, there's the song Look What You Made Me Do, and for this the prompt is to read a book that's recommended to you. So I'm once again using this as a slot for a secret TBR for something that was recommended to me. And then for 1989 there is the Bad Blood, my favorite song, just to read a book with a morally gray character, and I'll be reading the Poppy War for that one. Folklore, there is the prompt to just basically post a cozy outfit picture of yourself on Instagram for a cardigan. So I'm gonna be doing that and not reading. Self-care. And then for Lover, there's You Need to Calm Down, which is to do some calming self-care. Again, I really need that. I was very stressed out last month, so I'm going to be doing that for that prompt. And then for Fearless, song 15 has the prompt to read a book in the YA genre. So I'm going to be reading A Psalm of Storms and Silence, which is the second book in the A Song of Wraiths and Ruins series. It's the next book and the last book in this duology. Evermore, the prompt is to read a mystery thriller for the song No Body, No Crime. So I think The Last Thing He Told Me fits in here, since that is also definitely a mystery thriller book. And for Red, you have to read a book with red on the cover. So I think I'm going to do Olga Dies Dreaming. This is a book club pick for Noelle's book club, for the Hot Girl Book Club. For the Taylor Swift self-named album, I'm going to be doing the Picture to Burn prompt, which is just to post a picture of your current read. Again, I'm going really easy on myself here. And the last one for Speak Now. So there's a prompt to do, if this were a movie, to read a book that's adapted to a movie, or to do Speak Now, which is to listen to an audiobook. I'm combining those two because I am finishing up my read of Do Andrews Dream of Electric Sheep, adapted to Blade Runner. I am also listening to it as an audiobook, so that definitely counts. And there's also the Best Day Readathon, which is a part of this, which is to just read as much as you can and participate with a number of different prompts on March 12th. So I think that'll be pretty fun. I have something very exciting to announce. I'm going to be this month's host for the Sapphicathon, 1 day, 24-hour readathon that happens once a month, and it's hosted by Jan from Jan Agathon and Jesse from Bow Ties and Books. And I am just really thrilled that they asked me to be a part of this for this month. We're just basically going to be reading sapphic books. There's not really any number of prompts or anything, or things that you have to do. If you want to vlog it along with me, or you want to participate in the reading sprints and stuff, we would love to see you there. I'm going to leave some more information in the community tab as like a post over there once I have some more information on exactly what we're doing. But this is planned for March 26th, which is a Saturday. So I think it's from midnight to midnight in your time zone. So don't worry too much about which prompts you have to complete and what time it is and whatever. But if you want to come and read along with us, we would love to see you there. I did pick out a couple of books that I wanted to read during the Sapphicathon. And the first one is Yerba Buena, which is also an arc that I got. It's by Nina LaCour, a young woman who starts to work at a bar, and then she ends up kind of in like an affair with the guy there, but then she meets this other woman and they just instantly have this connection, and there's kind of like this yearning potentially tragic situation between the two of them of like, can we be together? I don't know. And the other ones I have is The Days of Aphrodite. So actually I just found out about this from one of Casey's videos. This is about two, I think older queer Black women who have always kind of had this like romantic-ish relationship, but one day they just wake up at 40, not like time travel, they just like wake up and they are 40 and they are like, what are we doing with our lives? Sorry, that's not a really great description, but that's all I really know about it. I'm really excited to get to both of these. I think it's gonna be cool, and again, I'm just so excited that I got invited to host for this month. Okay, let's talk about some carryovers slash other items that I have on this list. First off, I have Comfort Me with Apples. I think this is not just about a woman with a basement secret, but like maybe there's something more sinister going on, and apparently there's like a big twist in here, and if you know certain things, you might see it coming, but otherwise you'll be like, what the heck is going on? That's very unclear, but that is basically all I know about this one, but I think it's going to be pretty good. I also am trying to read The 2000s Made Me Gay, just be a little bit enlightening to see the different media that existed in the 2000s and how that just influenced, you know, more open queer culture, which I think is really important. I'm going to be reading The Grace of Kings with my buddies Steph and Casey. I bullied them a little bit into reading this right away because my audiobook hold came in for this boy, but I'm excited about this because Ken Liu, of course, is one of my favorite authors of all time, and I've heard nothing but great things about the Dandelion Dynasty. So this is a bit of a thick book, but it does start off a very cool fantasy series, and I'm really excited about it. I recently got the second book, I got the third book on audio, and I'm just waiting for the fourth one to come out. Not that I've read any of it yet, but I just know this is going to be a fantastic time because I just trust Ken Liu like that, and it's going to be great. I'm so excited about this one. I've also got Strange Beasts of China. Again, this is for a Noelle book club pick, and I am honestly struggling through this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to DNF it or if I'm just going to try to give it another shot this month, but we're going to see. I also really want to get to Bitter, which I did not get to last month, which is the prequel to Pet, which I really, really loved and I really, really adored reading. I recently did reread Pet, so I'm really like ready to just go into Bitter. And in Pet, you learn that, you know, some certain mysterious events happened years ago to Bitter, Jam's mother. And so I think that's what this book is going to be about. I'm really excited about that. I also have Escaping Exodus. I was really enjoying this last month, and then my hold, like my audiobook just got sent back to the library without my permission, which was very rude. So I'm waiting for it to come back, and then I will be definitely continuing on with that because I've been really, really enjoying that one. And the last book on this TBR is Shipped. I wanted to buddy read this with Mo. She did kind of just read the entire thing without me. It's fine, Mo. It's fine. I just thought we were gonna buddy read it, but it's fine. I'm kidding. It's fine. It's totally fine. I definitely had a lot of things going on last month, but I really do want to spend some time this month to really read my books and also like chill a little bit and just have a little self-care. So I'm excited to read this one. This is about two coworkers who end up kind of going on a cruise, and I think it's like enemies to lovers and this forced proximity, same bed, on traveling, on vacation, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm reading this, and you'll notice that there was a certain book that was not on this TBR because I finished it, so I don't have to do anything this month. I mean, I didn't really have any punishments other than having to give a book away, but I just want you to know I finished it. And you're going to be seeing a vlog very soon of all of my thoughts on this very interesting book. We're going to get to that next time. Thanks so much for watching this. Let me know what it is that you're excited to read for this month of March. I feel like February really flew by, but I really hope that March brings us some good things. So that's it from me. I'm Rachel. This is Let Me in the Library. I'll see you next time. Bye.